Respected chamber, before we going to extend the case from closing government side of the house, I would like to respond several things that comes from the opening benches. Right? They were talking about their mechanism is about rehabilitating them with a hope that with the argumentations that the essence of criminal justice system is to make sure that they are integrated back to the society. Thus, we need to make sure that we don't hardly punish them, right? But the thing is about that. Okay, we admit that we need to rehabilitate them, but how but it's what the current status quo did, right? There is still rehabilitations in the prison, but the thing is, crime is still happening and is still growing, and we cannot afford it to be happening. Even if, let's say, your rehabilitations works, it's only work to the people that has been done it, but not to the people that haven't done it. We're gonna talk about the potential crime that may occur in the future. We're gonna talk about the next corrupter, the current society, or the one who holds current power. So it's not going to solve the trend that currently happening in our world. Now, let's talk about the breakdown of our place. We admit the case of corruption is repeating. It happens like it never ends. The thing that is wrong is, of course, it is wrong because it hamper our economy, of course, because tons of things been taken away that is not their right, and tons of people opportunity and chances is been taken away by those actions. But the thing is that things need to be crucial is how the citizens perceive the crime itself. Because of what? Because the citizen sees that the government is corrupt and the government cannot prevent the corruption, and this kind of perception need to be changed sooner or later, and I will prove it later on my speech. And why we propose it, we understand that people will corrupt and always be corrupt if they want to, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't let that things happen. But it is an enough reason for us to punish them even harder to stop the circle. We propose this because impoverish the corruptor simply because of two reasons. Because we do believe that it is necessary. Second, it is appropriate to handle this situation, and the goal of us is to tackle them, to tackle the current and creating a better understanding towards society perceptions, right? Now, the difference between us and the opening is they're going to only do this for the crime that has happened in the scale of billions of dollars. Now, we are not going to do that because we believe every corruption is wrong and every corruption need to be punished as hard as possible. We need to impoverish them as hard as possible because if you do crime, you do corruption, you take people money that is not belong to you, and you should be punished because of it, not about the scale of money, right? Secondly, the only goal is about preventing, but in the closing government, our goal is not only about preventing, but also providing security and serving the punishment that these corruptors deserve to begin with. Right now, let's talk about our extensions. Why do we think that it is necessary for us to do this? Because first, we're gonna talk about who's doing the corruptions. We're gonna characterize the people who do the corruption is the people that are in the legislature, because that's most of the case. Or if they are not in the legislature, they are in the governmental office, right? Now, the thing is, the people in as a legislator or in the governmental office, they are directly or indirectly been mandated by the citizens to fill that office. For example, the citizen chose you to be in that office, ladies and gentlemen. And the thing is, when they are being directly or indirectly mandated by citizens to fill the office, they are using this mandate, the hope that the citizens give to you, to making sure that you are rich enough, ladies and gentlemen. You are for your own profit or your family profit or your own political party profit. And the thing is this is betraying society trust towards the government, because they're gonna think that the government is corrupt. The government is always corrupt and always should be corrupt. And it has been worsened by the media, how media sell the news, by how media like portraying there's corruption, we are not safe, and so on and so forth in the society. And the society like the bad news. Society will catch to those news, ladies and gentlemen. And what do it mean by that? It is worsen the society trust towards the government, and it is not something that we could afford as a government, because we are in the social contract theory, we could have government is the protector and society that that been protected by the government, if they are not trusting the government who protect them, how we gonna run this country, ladies and gentlemen? How is society going to be feel safe if let's say they cannot trust the government and been worsened by the perceptions that been cooking by the media on how bad it is, and how we gonna run the country because of that? So that it is necessary for us to favorism, and it is society language to favorism, because the way society think, if you take money, we take your money. This is how society think, and as we speak with their language, and of course they will be interested by our mechanisms. Due to appropriate, we say that. And second point, we admit that this is a appropriate punishment from the corruptions, because of due to the nature of the crime is not only damaging people or the government itself, it's not only benefiting the corruptor itself, but corruption is a wide scale crime which hamper every sector of society, whether they are poor, medium, even richest people, is still get affected by this thing due to the destructive nature of this crime, and due to how many people get impacted, their chance being cut. It is necessary and appropriate. It is appropriate for us to give them a harsher punishment, which is favorizing them, right? And how we're going to do this? We're gonna favorize them in every form of corruptions, whether it is small, big, medium, whatever it is. Because we think with the philosophy of broken window in the criminal justice system is better to be seen as done as it is for just to be actually been done. What do we mean by that, ladies and gentlemen? If let's say, as a small crime, for example, like they corrupt 10 million but they get a sanction of 1 billion, is been hardly punished, the society will think, oh, the CGS is working, the CGS, it is within our favor, and the CGS is working. It elevates society trust towards our criminal justice system. And why this is the best option to begin with? For the corruptor who's been punished, ladies and gentlemen, they will face a hell in this world, because not only that they get a criminal charges and society pressure or society punishment, but they will lose things that they value the most, which was the money itself, because they are driven by money, because they corrupt because of money, and they will do anything for money. And not only that, it will prevent them, because we educate the society that we will kill, or we will hurt on every single crime, and if you do that, you will get punished as hard as possible. The society will understand, and we hope that it will be fix this problem from the core. Thus, we proud to propose. Thank you.
Respected chamber, we are standing right here as a society who get disappointed of the bad actions from the one that we believe and when we choose to begin with, right? That is why it is going to be totally okay, and even this is going to be something that make us as a society happy if we see those government that we choose at the very first place that do the corruption, that we impoverish them, and therefore they will be as poor as they can. And that is why that the impoverish the corruptor itself, it will going to be a good things for us, and it will make us to be a happy society at the end of the day, right? But before I jump to the extension from the CG, I'm going to give several responses towards the opening opposition side of the house. Try to explain about how this is actually that they said about in the by impoverish the corruptors itself, there is no deterrence effect. We say that there is no the exact standard of deterrence effect, but we believe that once we took away all of their money, we say that they will get those deterrence effect at the very first place, because which I'm going to explain to you later on my extension. And also, when OO tried to explain about how this is actually that the status quo already enough when the corruptor just got jail, for example, and they need to pay fine to pay certain fine, for example. OO never explained to you about how it could reduce the amount of the corruption cases itself, or even at the very least, how to make the anger of the society could be released. For example, you see how in the media, society, we as a society, or even the citizen, really get disappointed on they spread a hate comment, for example, on the social media, but towards those certain corruption cases itself, right? And also when OO tried to explain about how this is talking about the rehabilitation as it could be as a form of the preventive action, for example, and also that could solve the root of the problem and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, the rehabilitation only happen once they get cuffed. They get cuffed by the state, for example. It will never be a preventive action for towards the corruption cases itself, Mr. Madam Chair. Even if you play under the scenario which is doing some kind of rehabilitation, they never able to explain. They never be able to explain to us about what will they do in rehabilitation itself. So that is why the corruptor itself will get the deterrence effect, and also the preventive action that they will try to champion at the very first place, right? So that is why the cases from the OO will never stand until the end of the debate. Then I'm going to explain to you why even OG couldn't apprehend rather than us as the causing government. The whole entire argument from the opposing government are inherently not important enough. Why? Because the OG tried to explain about how this is a way that it is kind of the form for the corruptors itself to know how does it feel for being a society as a poor society, for example, that they will know which the society itself their right have been taken from those corruptors, but they also never be able to prove to us but what is actually that going to be why it is really justified enough for us, and it is going to solve the problem which is the corruption itself in that several country, right? So coming to my extension, I'm going to prove you about three things. First, I'm going to explain to you what is actually the characterization of the corruptors itself, and also I'm going to explain to you about the society perceptions, and lastly, I'm going to explain to you what is the current status quo, and it is not the ideal situation that what we want. First argument. What is the current status? What is the characterization of the corruptors itself? They are the one that, like Raihan, my first speaker explained to you before. They are the one that run the state, which is they are the government, which is they are chosen by the society from the election, and also they do the corruption because they are over glorified money, because they really love money, and that is why they will see any other they will see any other possibility for them to do the corruption. Which is meaning that the corruptor itself, they just simply took the money of the state, which means that they took the right of society that already been taken away by those corruptor itself, right? They supposed to which is the society is supposed to be able to consuming public facility, but then those corruptor just simply unfortunately they couldn't feel that because that the corruptor taken away their right itself at the very first place. So they are because that how by those characters, and that we believe that the government are rich enough to join the election to begin with. So that is why we think that taking away all of their money, it is going to be okay for us to because due to those certain characterization from them, right? Second argument, second extension about how the society perception, which is we already get betrayed and we already really disappointed with them. We see on the social media, we see how the media, society really hate the corruptors. Society really hate the action of the corruption itself, which is they condemn, for example, or even they put the curse for the corruptors itself, that they wish all the bad things towards the corruptors. It is from them to they are disappointed, right? We don't want so by doing this, by taking away their money, which means that we're going to we're going to take all of them. We're going to make the society happy. But coming to last extension, what is the the current status quo is not the ideal situation that we want. Meanwhile, you know how when the corruptor get caught, for example, they get prison, and also they have to pay certain fine, for example. Meanwhile, they are rich enough. For example, they corrupt for the 10 billions, they only pay for 1 billion, for example. Meanwhile, that, you know, which mean that those corruptor will still have the amount of money, and you see how in the status quo that they are they can even pay for the prison, and they are even feel comfortable enough in the prison, and they feel and they live like in the home. It feels like the home, so it will never creating a deterrence effect like the oppositions or even the other government try to explain to you for, at the very first place. So that is why under the CG cases is more important enough and urgent enough to explain to you. But what is why it is justified enough for us to took all of them to took all of the money from the corruptor. We proud to close the debate. Thank you.